What's going on YouTube? Darksword255 here, where the numbers may be randomly generated, but the content itself is not, and we are talking some Raid Shadow Legends today, folks. A video rolled across my For You page from Daithi Raids, and I'm hoping I'm saying his name right, where he covered a ninja versus other champions comparison video for Chimera, and I thought it'd be really interesting to do something relatively similar to his video. You should definitely go and check it out, guys. I'll link down in the description below. But obviously I did my own little spin on things, and I think that this is a pretty unique stance to look at here. So what I did is I chose 3 different champions to test out here, and they all do max enemy HP damage. My main goal was to try out some champions that you might not think would be a good match for Chimera, and honestly, you're going to be surprised with the results. So the champions that I ended up deciding to bring in were Coldheart, Royal Guard, and Gnut. Now, each of these champions do a percent HP damage with one of their abilities. For Gnut, it's his A3 ability. It does a certain percentage of the enemy's max HP per hit, and he hits it 3 times. Royal Guard's A2 does something very similar. It does a percentage of the max enemy HP. And similarly, Coldheart here also does max percent HP. And I really, mainly when I started this video, I really wanted to test how much damage Coldheart could do here. Because not everybody necessarily has a Gnut, necessarily has a Royal Guard, but Coldheart is a very accessible champion. And the great thing about Coldheart is she has the void affinity, meaning that she is not weak to any hits, versus Gnut and Royal Guard, which have affinities that they are weak to, and they have the potential to weak hit on those max HP hits. I'm gonna go through each champion's stats here, guys. So for my Gnut, he's one of my stronger champions that I have built right now. He is 230 speed, 200% crit damage. It's not an unbelievably crazy Gnut build. My account isn't the most crazy outlandish account. It's obviously a more developed account, but these stats are very obtainable for the average raid player. So these are my Royal Guard stats. Right now, I only really use him in my Hard Spider 10 team, and this is the exact build that I use to bring him into this Chimera challenge. And lastly, this is my Coldheart. She's not necessarily built anything crazy right now. I really exclusively use her in my Shogun team. So could I have built these other champions significantly better for this? Absolutely. But I think, again, it's interesting to see the results of these tests, how much damage they're able to do with these current builds. So guys, this is the team setup that I use to test out all of the damage for Chimera. As you can see here, the only thing that changes within all of these teams are obviously the HP nukers. What I also did for fun was ran a test with Ninja just to see comparable damage, how well Ninja stands up to these HP teams. Because most people do have a ninja, but like I said, just in case you do not have a ninja, we wanted to really test these individuals. Now, I understand that not everybody will have these champions. Not everybody has a Podreg. Not everybody has a Gwendolyn. Not everybody has an Elva. But for the most part, if we look at this here, Gwendolyn was a fusion. Gnut was a fusion. Lydia is a achievement from beating Faction Wars. And you could replace some of these champions. Now, you could replace Podreg with Lady Mikage. She would be a great substitute. Elva, you can change out with anybody who you can put down protect buffs on, like Duchess, Pythion, really any of those champions as your lead. Gwendolyn is a little bit more difficult. The only champion I can think that you could trade out with her would be Krisk, because Krisk and her extend debuffs. But really, overall, this entire build can change. This was just the build that I used to test out the damage consistently on all 3 of these champions. So I ran all these test guys on easy just to see what kind of damage they could do in general. And this team right here was able to do 13 trials and also do 125 million damage. My Coldheart in particular did 55 million damage, which is absolutely insane. And again, there are different ways that we can go ahead and maximize her build. We could put her in Relentless. We could put her in higher nuking gear. We could totally make her faster. This is just, like I said, a build that was specifically designed for Shogun, and that's why I built her the way that I did. Moving on to Royal Guard. Now, this is one that I was shocked to see just put it over there. Thank you. My dad bought me spaghetti. This run, I was surprised to see the lack of damage really outputted from Royal Guard. And I think that there are a couple different reasons why his damage is on the lower end. Obviously, he could be put into some better gear, but still doing 40 million damage is pretty impressive for not having the most spectacular build. And this build was able to do 12 different trials with a total of 113 million damage. And moving on to the final test, I mean, as no surprise as this will be, my Gnut did an insane amount of damage. He is just a powerhouse, and I think he does so much extra damage because his A3 has the chance of hitting 3 times. So he is doing 2 to 3 times more damage because his max HP hits 3 times versus Cold Heart or Royal Guard that is just hitting with 1 attack. And he was able to do 15 different trials himself. He did 103 million damage. Now moving over to the control here, I mean, Ninja is just an unbelievably insane champion. He was able to still out damage my Gnut. It's a total of 203 million damage done, with himself doing 132 million damage. But there was only 13 trials done here. What I will say is the chimeras that are weak to Gnut, he does not output that level of damage. Maybe what I'll try to do, and if you guys are interested, let me know, is really try to rebuild one of my Cold Hearts to see how much damage that I can truly get her to output to even keep up with Gnut, because there are chimera runs that Gnut is weak to. Also the same with Ninja. There are going to be chimera runs that Ninja himself is weak to. And I think it's really cool that not only do you not have to rely on a legendary champion for this damage, but there are a bunch of different options with Chimera to get the damage and the 1 keys that you want to get. Like, I'm shocked with the amount of damage that Cold Heart was able to do. Right now, Chimera is just a little bit of a hyperfixation from me because of how disgustingly overpowered relics can make your champion. So being able to climb and get the most amount of trials, damage, and rewards from Chimera to be able to farm those accessories is so important. But if you guys like these style of videos, me doing some experiments, me just having like a good time, trying out some different builds and some different teams, let me know, guys, down in the comments below. And also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, guys, I am uploading as much Raid Shadow Legends content as I can. I love this game. It's a passion of mine, and I would love for you guys to be a part of my journey. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I will see everybody in the next one.